The paddock was buzzing with tension as the F1 season reached its boiling point. Red Bull Racing had dominated the early part of the year, with Max Verstappen, part human, part racing machine, racking up victories like it was a foregone conclusion. But now, things were different. The car was slower, the wins had dried up, and one man was particularly upset about it. Jos Verstappen, the fiery, loose-speaking boot of a man with a history as dark as a Monaco tunnel. Joe stormed into the Red Bull garage, his eyes narrowing as he zeroed in on Christian Horner, the smooth-talking boss of the team. Christian was in the middle of convincing a journalist that Red Bull's recent slump was just a minor hiccup, using his favorite cocktail of charm and half-truths. But Joss wasn't buying it. "Horner!" Joss barked, his voice echoing off the garage walls. "Over 20 seconds! That's how much my son lost by in the last race. Are you trying to sabotage Max? First you take his wins, next you'll take his steering wheel, and then what? You'll make him drive a tractor?" Christian, ever the diplomat when it suited him, flashed a smile that didn't quite reach his eyes. Jos, let's not be dramatic. It's just a phase. Every team goes through it. We'll be back on top soon, I assure you. "Don't give me that," Joss snapped, jabbing a finger at Christian's chest. "My boy is out there driving his heart out, and you're fiddling around with the car like it's a toy. If you don't fix this, you'll be watching races from the stands, just like me." Max Verstappen, oblivious to the storm brewing between his father and his boss, walked into the garage at that very moment. His eyes glazed over the tension, his mind firmly planted in the world of racing strategy, tire compounds, and lap times. "Dad, Christian?" Max greeted them with a nod. "Have you seen the telemetry data from the last race? I think we could have pushed harder on the second stint, maybe gotten a few tenths back in Sector 3. Jos threw his hands up in exasperation. "Max, they've got you so brainwashed, you're starting to sound like the car. Forget telemetry. This is about you winning. And if Horner here can't deliver, then maybe it's time we find someone who can." Christian, sensing the argument was about to spiral out of control, quickly intervened. "Max, your father's just passionate about your success. We all are. And Jos, rest assured, we're doing everything we can to make sure Max has the best car on the grid. But these things take time." Jos was about to launch into another tirade when Max's phone buzzed with a notification. His eyes lit up. "Christian, I've been thinking about the start procedure for the next race. What if we adjusted the clutch bite point? I've been analyzing the data from the simulator, and I think it could shave off a few milliseconds." Christian saw an opportunity to steer the conversation back to racing, a language he knew Max spoke fluently. "Good idea, Max. Let's get the engineers on it." Joss, now utterly frustrated, threw his hands in the air. "Unbelievable. My son's becoming more machine than man. All you two can talk about is racing. What about the bigger picture?" Max, still deep in thought about the clutch adjustment, muttered, "Racing is the bigger picture." Joss sighed, knowing he'd lost the argument, for now. He turned on his heel and walked out of the garage, mumbling under his breath, "If they don't fix this, I'll fix it myself, even if I have to drag Max to another team." As Joss disappeared into the paddock, Christian leaned over to Max and whispered, "Your dad sure knows how to make a scene." Max shrugged, his mind already back in racing mode. "Yeah, but as long as I'm winning, he'll calm down." Christian chuckled. "Well, let's make sure you do. After all, a happy Jos is a quiet Jos." And with that, the two men returned to their natural habitat, poring over data and strategies, oblivious to anything that wasn't fast, furious, and racing related. Little did they know, Jos Verstappen wasn't one to stay quiet for long.